Welcome to the very first Boba's Alliance Q&A. This one was recorded Tuesday night with our special and famous Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes YouTuber, CubsFan Han. We'll cover various topics like Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, new game modes, and petrol or gas stations. So let's get right into it.
No rush either. I just realized I need to fill my car up with gas, so.
Oh,
Take your time.
no worries. No worries about that. So we're good. We'll talk to Cubs while he's filling his car up with gas.
Yeah, that's what's up.
It's called petrol.
Petrol.
Not here in the US here, buddy.
It's you don't put gas into your car, you put diesel or petrol.
Okay, thank you. You need me to sign?
He's passing us his card details next.
So it's funny, my daughter watches that show Peppa Pig, much to my chagrin. And the other day we were at the gas station and she said, "Dad, are we at the petrol station?" And I was like, you wash your mouth out with soap. You're not in England.
That's the correct why. Well done to your daughter.
This damn thing won't fill up. I'm having the most complicated fill up I've ever had.
So just post it in questions. You can ask how to fill up your tank.
I know, I need that. When they said see the cashier, I went and paid and then it wouldn't fill up.
Right. White Walker, God, you're such an ass, but I love you to death.
I think Cubs has been mugged or something. Someone better go and check on him.
Give me a second. All right, are you guys waiting on me or are you good to go?
We're just waiting for you.
Both?
We're good.
Okay,
Yeah.
We're good to go. I figured out how to fill up my car with gas.
Awesome.
Yeah, isn't that cool? I mean,
Yep.
I've only been doing it for 15 years, and let me know what you got. Okay. So this is I don't know if there's any patrons here, but I do these chats with them every day, and it is kind of a common theme of my commute.
Right.
There tends to be robo areas, so I apologize in advance for any of that.
Okay.
Usually it's not too bad.
We'll have a tendency to figure out what you're trying to say, but we'll let you know if you're roboing and if you need to.
Just let me know. I'm used to it. Just cut me off and be like, "Yo, dude, you sound like freaking C-3PO."
Sounds like, or it sounds like my guitar on a bad day.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, even that. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few areas that might be a bit spotty, so I apologize.
Well, we've got good service right now, so let's get a question.
Let's go.
Okay. So Michael Charles, Starforge Omega, has a question. Says, "Hey Cubs, could Embo Zeta lead with Greedo, Django, Aura, and IG-88 be a powerful bounty hunter? The Greedo train would be very strong, especially with 100% health steal, 50 from payout, and 50 from Embo lead. And with 50% critical chance from Embo lead, crits will be flying everywhere. And it would be pretty easy to complete the contract with the IG-88 and Django AoEs. Embo will be a force to reckon with since he takes 2 turns if he crit on the first attack, especially if he is modded for high offense with a 216%, 22% critical damage mod set. And Aura going in and out of stealth would be not only annoying but deadly since she has 80% bonus critical damage while under stealth."
Okay.
Comment.
So I feel like this question is more, hey, check out my theory craft. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like
Yes.
it's a loaded question because if I say no, I think I'm going to hurt your feelings. So I'm going to say yes. That sounds awesome. No, I haven't tested it out, so I don't know for sure how that would do. Obviously, all the things you pointed out are great, and I appreciate you reminding me of what Embo Lead even does because I'm just going to be honest, I didn't remember. What I like about it, did he have Bosk in that team? I'm trying to remember.
No, so
No.
Embo, Greedo, Django, Aura, and IG-88.
So here's the thing: if you're using Django in there, you're gonna say where the only place I can consider using this is Grand Arena, and so you're taking Django out of the Boba Django synergy, and Boss kind of feels like he needs to be in there. So if you're okay with that, then cool. It might be a great team to put like on the back wall if you've got it decked out. And I love teams like that because when I run into a team like that, I'm like, oh shit, like what? I've never seen this ever. What do I do with this? And you have no idea how to approach it. Yeah, it's all theory. And so it's a great way to get people thrown off guard. And so I would say if you can use your Bosk and Boba on offense, maybe finding meaningful use for them, because you really don't want to let them go to waste. I mean, look, this is Boba's alliance. So you're really going to let your Boba go to waste? And so I would just make sure that you've got a good maybe offensive team or secondary defensive team to place that is going to be able to be viable without Django and Boba being together. That'd be my main concern with that. But I think it sounds like a dope craft. I don't know what I would take it against. And so if you have something specific you think it would be great for on offense, then cool, maybe say it for offense. Otherwise, my initial thought is that's a unique composition. It would scare the hell out of me if I saw it on a back wall for Grand Arena. I would not approach it, especially if it was decked out.
Okay. Next, Jonah, you got a question?
If the pirate faction led by Hondo would be implemented into the game, could they be the first neutral faction that can do both dark side and light side territory battles?
Oh man, you're tickling my fandom here. I'm actually watching Rebels for the first time. I know.
I just
Okay, so
finished it.
What?
before I offend anybody, I've been trying to watch this show forever, and you can't get it anywhere. And then somebody was like, "Oh,
yeah.
just go to Kiss Cartoon. It's right there. You can pirate it." And I don't, support pirating. So I felt like I was gonna be a good boy, and I bought the first season on YouTube. But then I was like, oh man, the second season is like 2 parts. You got to spend, I think it was $15 twice, so $30 for the whole season. My tolerance just shot through the tubes, and now I'm watching season 2 on Kiss Cartoon. And so I got to the part where Hondo comes in, and it was like my fandom was just going nuts because I just love Hondo so much. I saw all of Clone Wars, of course. That was on Netflix, and so yeah, man, you're speaking my language here. I'd love to see that. Hondo's not light side. He's not dark side, period. Is anybody going to be able to put Hondo in either light side or dark side? Could anybody make an argument to put him on one of the teams? Is anyone going to be able to do that?
It would be interesting to have like a pirate faction have synergy with both sides in different ways.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Or just, the kind of CG's model right now is if they were to bring Hondo in the game, I think we would have a pirate faction. We have pirate characters. They'd milk the hell out of that from financial standpoint, and we'd have another faction that had use in Grand Arena or something like that. So I could see them doing it, and I think if they do it, they're probably going to do it here when you got the Clone Wars new season coming out.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great time to do it. It's a slam dunk for them, and so I think that potential is so high because I just see, if I'm CG, it's like money on a tree waiting to grab. It's like, just go get it.
For sure.
Everyone wants Hondo. The question is, how would they do it? Would he be a legendary? Would they bring out pirates first, and then you need, pirates to get Hondo? I don't know how but I feel like Hondo might be enough of a fan favorite that he could almost deserve a legendary event, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, end game, once we realize what they would do with Hondo if they brought him to the game, absolutely. I think pirate faction, I think they'd be neutral.
Wow, thank you very much for that answer. That's really,
Thank you for giving me something super awesome to talk about, because that is a really exciting proposition in a game that feels very still right now with no Grand Arena or anything.
Yeah, that's just I made an article about factions that could possibly come into the game, and of course, pirates was the first one I got covered. And I just thought, man, if I were CG, I would make it a neutral faction and maybe a B level squad. I mean, bounty hunter level, nothing too crazy. I don't think Hanno will ever be a meta character, although he could be. Would be pretty awesome if they put
Comparing
him in
them to
there.
bounty hunters is pretty accurate. I think if they were to bring them to the game, I think they'd be on a similar level that we see Geonosians
Mhm.
at right now.
Hmm.
Bounty hunters,
Cool.
maybe not so much. I think Geonosians.
Yeah. I see. Okay, thank you very much.
You bet, man. Good question.
Okay, we've got a question from Frank from Mustafar Fire Brigade, which is it's basically our starter guild. So the question kind of, I understand where he's coming from. So he's interested in future of the game. You have been playing for a long time and seen the ups and downs over the years. Now people are angry, saying they will quit due to cheating. Mobile gamers saying CJ is losing money, and people at the forums are angry. So what do you think about the future of this, maybe new abilities in gear? Possibly, what would those be like?
Okay, so this question shifted dramatically at the end. So future of the game, as far as like a stability standpoint, is what I'm hearing. But then he's also asking about,
I guess it's two questions in a way. I would say
yeah.
the continuation of the game, and then what might be good things to maybe keep the game going, I guess.
Okay. So here's the main thing I would say about the game from an end game standpoint. If you get to the end game, you get to a point where the more that CG releases, the more demoralizing it can be. Okay. The more that the more farming priorities that are spammed, the more discouraging it can be from an end game player, and the more that they increase gear caps and level caps, etc., the more that grind sinks in and gets difficult. And so to me, there's a certain point where, and we're kind of seeing this right now, you can't just increase gear caps forever. You can't increase level caps forever. You've got to find other ways to progress in the game other than just farming stuff. And so to me, a big answer to that is just content. And right now, CG does not have a good grip on how to release interesting, exciting content. The most recent content we have is a reskin of by far the most stale content in the game, territory battles. Like I meet very, very few people who really like territory battles. And I think that a lot of us appreciate the challenge that is the new territory battle. It's something new to work towards. We don't have it maxed out. Got to farm stuff. But ultimately, it's what we've been doing already. There's nothing really that crazy new about Geonosian territory battles that I've seen. I mean, the Acme's kind of cool if you're a whale. So they need to find ways to reward people who have invested in this game, time and money. They need to find ways to make us go, I can't wait to use my stuff. I have 4.4 million galactic power, and right now new content means that's not enough. How awesome would it be if new content meant, oh my gosh, I've got so many places I can use my characters. Now, it's not like they're incapable of doing that, because I think Grand Arena is a fantastic example of them hitting all cylinders, in my opinion. I think Grand Arena is the best game mode we have ever had. Now, of course, the big caveat to that is they've got a cheating problem. And if they can't fix that cheating problem, and if the solution becomes to kind of circle back to the stability portion of that question, if they can't fix this cheating problem and say their solution is that they just can't have a game mode like Grand Arena, they get rid of it, this game's going to die. It's my personal opinion. Now, maybe I'm biased because I love Grand Arena so much, but based on kind of my pulse on my audience and my community, I don't think there's that many people that are enthusiastic about much other than Grand Arena and Territory Wars right now. But there are some. There are some. I think that the end game, the endest of game, highest of spenders, that's what they get up for. And if you took it away, I mean, they'd have to replace it with something pretty damn sweet. Or I don't know. I don't know how I would be enthusiastic about the game myself. So, kind of long-winded answer. I'm kind of just rambling now.
No, that's fine. That's a great answer, and really appreciate your input on that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, next we've got Giddy from Transylvania. Says, hello, please ask Cubs if he finally put the crit avoidance arrow on Darth Sion so the bugs won't keep blowing him away.
Oh man, I can tell you're watching my streams there, buddy. First of all, thanks for watching my streams. I really appreciate it. And second of all, yeah, I got a crit avoidance arrow on it. I don't think that I had let that stream end for longer than 10 minutes before I had gone in and put a crit avoidance arrow on Sion the last time that he got taken out. So, and I'm done risking just Trey and Sion. I think for the most part it works, but I'm taking 3 in now. I'm doing Trey, Sion, and usually Sith Trooper now, and that's worked. That's worked. What I really want to do is save my Nihilus. That's where I think you really benefit. If you can find a way to save Nihilus, which if your Trey and Sion are modded sufficiently, you should be okay. You really should be okay. Then you can use Nihilus at something else, and that's super valuable to me. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing until we find a really reliable counter. Otherwise, I think that's what makes bugs so great is, I mean, maybe Treya, takes him out so easily, but damn, you got to use Treya there. So now you got to it creates an interesting ripple effect because a lot of people were kind of relying on Treya to beat Night Sisters, especially good Night Sister teams. So take Treya against the bugs, and now what are you taking against Treya? Okay, so now you're using something you're unfamiliar with, and this is exactly what happened to me in a Grand Arena, where I took Treya against bugs, and I was trying out this Bacillid team against Night Sisters, and I lost. I lost the Night Sister battle because I'm not used to using Bacillid against her, against those sisters. So yeah, that's what I got it. So yeah.
Next would be Avi. Question.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I have to go look at my questions now.
I
just threw those.
If you want me to read it, I mean.
Oh, go ahead and read it. I just go ahead. I wanted to be sure that there were plenty of questions for Cubs to answer. So
I figure you're right here, so if you wanted to, you could.
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay.
You're doing a great job.
Let's see. Top question. If CG was going to rework all the clones, we know they aren't, but we can wish. What would you like to see given or adjusted for each of the clones?
Who do I want to see adjusted?
Yeah, either added abilities or adjusted if they did all the clones.
Okay. So for me, I'll speak a little more generally about this. And by the way, I am coming up on an area that seems to be a real bandit on coverage. So let me know. Just cut me off if I start cutting out and going all robo on you. Also, fortunately for you guys, looks like there's an accident. So I'll be my commute will be longer. So we can go longer. Somebody did you guys a solid. Or maybe did you a negative. I don't know, depending on how you feel about it. Anyway, I don't really like to. I know some people really get off on like, oh, I want this ability would be sweet, or the clones. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank the Lord. Just let me know if it cuts out again. I don't really fan kit much. To me, I can come up with cool abilities, maybe, but ultimately they're not going to be in the game, so I don't really care to speculate on that. I'd rather just kind of speculate on what I want them to accomplish, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and so to me, there's clones that I like more than others. I love Commander Cody. I love Rex. The whole 500 first, guys. And so to me, I want a 500 first meta. That's what I want. I should clarify. Not like an arena meta, but just a kind of like a very solid presence in Grand Arena. You know, maybe a premier defensive team or premier offensive team. That's what I would want to see end game wise. I don't really care about this Clone Sergeant guy. I could care less if they do anything to him. I just don't care about him. But Rex, Fives, you know, Echo, who's I'm trying to remember
Cody.
some other clone. Well, yeah, who we've got in the game right now, Cody, but there's another clone I want to see added. I'm trying to remember their names. But all of those guys are who I want to see, and I want to see them have tons of synergy together and just be a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
You know, maybe even a team that can be, if you mod them right, or, you know, you figure out specific attack strategy, maybe even a team that can take out the top meta teams. That'd be great, even if not reliably.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them have just a lot of fun, sort of like Imperial Troopers with the clones and like the Geonosians and stuff like this. Just something fun that we can use against some of the, you know, even some of the B teams or whatever. So yeah, it's just nice to be able to dredge up some of those factions that have been by the wayside for so long.
I think Bounty Hunters might be the best example I can think of in game of the devs making a team to play with that's just so freaking fun to play with. I mean, when I use I use Bounty Hunters, I really like to put them on defense, but every once in a while I'd save them on offense, and I'll use Django Lead against Night Sisters or Bosk Lead, depending on the speeds. And I always enjoy so much playing with Bounty Hunters. It's just, I feel like you really get rewarded for that investment. And so just like what you said, I'd love to see something like that, but with clones. And with the named clones, the ones that you love.
Okay, next question. Good?
Yes.
Okay. Oliver from Force says, be nice to know if Cubs thinks it's best to save crystals for the next film tunes or splash on Clone Wars stuff.
Oh, that's a good question, isn't it? If you're a hoarder, if you want to hoard for whatever is big and next, what you're going to want to do is hoard for whatever the next Malik is. Next time you see an event like Malik's, that's what you want to hoard for, because not only will it probably be extremely meta defining, but it will almost for sure be something that is going to take a long time to come back. And so if you're going to hoard, I'd wait for that. And the way that you know is just based on how the event's framed. If it looks like, you know, the way that they did the Malik event, then there you go. That's what you're hoarding for.
Okay, perfect. So we have a very, very serious question. In a fight to the death, who would win? Arnold, Mobile Gamer, or you?
Mobile Gamer would beat all of us.
Okay.
Arnold's bigger, but he's soft. Mobile Gamer has got a bit of a thug in him. And I actually work out, and I could probably hold my own, but I don't have the same level of thug as Mobile Gamer. I'm telling you guys right now. So yeah.
So it could be a thug war. Okay.
Arnold's a lot bigger than me, size-wise, and so I don't know how I'd even do against him. The only thing I've got of him is I definitely go to the gym every day.
Next, we've got one from Frank Plays. So he's a level 63, and he's just wondering, is it worth it to push for ships?
Oh, man. Well, the good boy in me says yes. You need to do it. I hate ships. It's my least favorite game mode. I wish it didn't exist. If I could erase it from ever happening, I would. I just don't like ships at all. I've never enjoyed it. However, ships are very important, especially if you're at level 63. You need your ship so that you can get your Zeta challenge unlocked. You got to have that. And so if you're not farming ships for that, then you're going to be regretting it. And so you at a minimum want to get that taken care of. From an arena perspective, if we're talking ideals, absolutely worth going for it. If you can do it, if it doesn't make you want to blow your brains out, then do it. I did it for a while. And to me, it was amazing to have 900 crystals a day. It was I had a fleet payout by myself, and I had an arena payout by myself. It was a total dream. It was a lot of crystals, and it was brilliant. You know, it made a big difference. That said, I also reached a quality of life standstill where I was like, I absolutely hate ships, and the 400 crystals isn't worth it for me, and so I don't do it anymore. That's just me. I'm a very practical player. I know some YouTubers are all about the most ideal route ever, and so I'll tell you what that ideal route is, and that's what it is. Go do your ships. But for me, quality of life wise, I just don't like doing ships, so I don't do it.
I agree with you there on that one.
Yeah, but you know what? Those 400 crystals are good. I miss them. I'm not gonna lie, I miss them.
Okay,
Next question.
you have something. Okay. Is your real name Murphy?
That was from White Walker, wasn't it?
Yep.
Figures.
I'm genuinely curious where you're getting that. No, it's not, but I'm curious why. Is that like some inside joke, or
It's just White
With
Walker.
with
being
White Walker, who knows?
you just never know? All right,
Yep.
I can respect that.
Let's see. From Gafafi, from the dark side, have you seen a Gear 13 Wampa? And is he as glorious as I imagine?
You know what? That is a character that I have not seen. I haven't looked at what his stat boosts are, but man, if he got a juicy offensive boost, I bet he'd be glorious in Gear 13. But no, I haven't seen a Gear 13 Wampa personally.
Now, he's next on my list.
Is he? All right, well.
Yeah,
you let us
along
know.
with Gamorrean Guard. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I am going to do a Gamorrean Guard. I love me a good piece of bacon there. Yes.
You do you.
I can tell you personally, G13 Wampa is beast. I
Oh,
did
awesome.
it the
Alright.
other day.
Very nice.
Fantastic.
I really don't know how I'm gonna say this. Sizo Brackery from Lagunitas.
Lagunitas.
Yeah. What has your biggest highlight been in getting involved in the Star Wars Galaxy of Hero community? And what is your favorite off-meta team to use in Grand Arena?
Ooh, I like that question. That's making me think. I'm definitely going to say the highlight of my whole experience was my second trip out to California when we went to Sacramento, and most of the game changers were there. A couple weren't, but almost everybody was there. And when we were all in that hotel room,
Oh
I don't know
God,
if anyone
yes.
saw the video. I think
Yep.
a lot of people will remember. It was on my channel, but we did a tournament, and we all made predictions for the tournament, and we were just having a good old time. And the hotel had to come up, and we got a noise complaint, and we got kicked out of the room. And we ended up finishing the tournament in the lobby, and it was just a total thrill of a night. And there's a little background on me. I know some people, maybe some people here, think that YouTubers are just these scummy, corporate shill people. But me personally, I was just a fan of this game. I never planned on being a YouTuber. I just enjoyed the game so much, and I loved the community so much. And I had a community that I had founded called Good as Dumb. Maybe you've heard of it, GID.
Mm-hmm.
I've since left the community for personal reasons, mostly because I couldn't do leadership anymore with the YouTube schedule. It broke my heart doing it. But anyway, I just started uploading guides because people were asking, because I was using Jedi in Arena during the mall meta. And I was like, no, Jedi work. Look at this, Jedi with R2, Qui-Gon Jinn lead, what's up? And everyone's like, how are you doing it? And so I uploaded a video. I was like, here's the attack strategy. I'll talk you through it. And one of those videos ended up getting like 2,000 views. And I was not uploading a video to be a YouTuber. I was just uploading a video to help my guild. And when that got that many views, I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll try uploading some more. I uploaded another one, and one thing led to another. And my goal at first was, oh, it'd be cool to be a game changer. And then, now my goals are to be a full-time YouTuber. It's just crazy how that's progressed. And so for me, that trip, sitting there with everyone, in this, like, another part that was really cool is we went into this room and they had it all draped in red for the Sith raid reveal. And I was just pinching myself. I was like, is this really happening? Did I really get flown out here because of this video game? Am I really making videos about video games? And so that to me was just a really cool pinch myself reward moment that I really cherish. As far as teams I like using, I don't know. I use, it just depends based on what I'm facing. I don't know if I have a good answer for that last question. Although I really like using, I'm starting to really like using Bastila against Night Sisters. Bastila with Wampa. It actually works pretty well. Although I haven't tested it against Gear 13 Night Sisters yet, so that might change.
Next, we've got Pitman Strike with, what's the best Darth Revan team to use if you don't have Malik?
Oh gosh. Get Malik. The answer is Malik, dude. Like, come on.
Are we up to like 120 days now?
Yeah, it's terrible. I think it's such a dick move to keep him hidden, but I won't get political. But no, so I'd probably do, obviously you want to do Darth Revan, HK, you want to do Bastila, you want to do Sith Trooper and Marauder, I think is probably the team I would run. And then sub Sith Trooper out for Malik as soon as you can.
Okay.
Which is probably never, according to CG.
Let's see. So next we've got Disruptor from Rise of Vizsla. Do you have an idea for a completely new game mode in mind that would make the game fresh again besides sandbox mode? If yes, what would that mode look like?
I do. I shared this in a video once. But I think we should have some kind of conquest mode where what happens is you've got this massive map.
Mm-hmm.
And don't even tell me for a second that this game isn't making enough money to do shit like this. But you have a massive map of planets in the Star Wars universe. Some known, some not known. Maybe they'll be familiar. Maybe they won't be as familiar. But guilds all have a home base. And guilds can go out and try to occupy other planets. And you do so, I think you could kind of frame it like a territory wars of sort, only it's just a total free-for-all. Maybe you've got characters, and if characters are defeated, they reset after a week or something like that. I don't have this totally fleshed out. I'm sure there's a lot of holes in this that would need to be poked. But I just like the idea of guilds being able to control planets and to defend planets and to be able to pursue other planets and guilds take over. I think you'd have to have a home base that was not able to be occupied so that you don't just get completely wiped off the face of the earth. You've got a place you can regroup. But I'd also love it if that game mode allowed for actual alliances so that, you guys have an alliance of guilds here. So your guilds could be linked in game with that quest to occupy as much of the galaxy as you could. I think something like that would be incredibly fun. And you could get up there. There could be a way to zoom out and look and see what alliances control the most of the galaxy. Don't everybody clap all at once, okay?
No, yeah, my brain was like, that sounds really interesting. That would be really nice to add to the game that's different than what we already have. Definitely.
That's what we need, something different, okay?
We need something
idea,
that we can actually expand.
Something like that in practice, it probably sucks. You know what? I'm not a game developer. I don't make up game modes, but something new, something interactive, I think we need. So, yeah.
I think it'd be good. It'd bring loads of alliances together. if you had a planet for each alliance.
I don't think CG has enough programmers, and I mean, I think their staff is just too thin to add something major. Although I would love them to add more staff and just do crazy stuff like that, because that would be not only good for them financially, but it would just be so nice to play.
It would revitalize the game.
Yeah, really nice suggestion.
Let's make it happen.
Have you guys ever heard of the game called EVE Online before?
That's where I get the idea. It's I
that's
kind
what
of
I'm
think
thinking.
about Eve. Yeah, I kind of think about Eve when I make that suggestion, because that's all about controlling territories and whatnot. But to me, I just look, if they're gonna tell me they don't have the support to do that, you guys are making like $10+ million a month. Get out of here with that. That's bullshit, CG. I don't care what you tell me. You can make new game modes.
Right. That's right. And by doing that, they're going to extend the life of the game exponentially if they revitalize everything and refresh and make it just fantastic that people want to be able to do it, because there's so much to do.
They need to think about how to make a game mode that is not going to be stale within weeks.
Yeah.
Okay? They gave us Geonosian territory battles. All right, it's stale. It's stale right now, in my opinion. A new raid. Who is enthralled with the Sith raid right now? Be honest. Like, maybe there's a few people. I'm not. That game mode was stale really fast. As soon as you started beating it, you put it on farm. Whatever. If you can't get top 10, all you do is you post a 0 and call it a day. They need to have content that stays exciting, content that can be updated. And if they take the time to flesh out something like that is exciting and can be updated and be engaging for a long time, then this game's lifespan could dramatically increase. But for now, they only seem capable of bringing us game mode that becomes stale very fast, with the exception of Grand Arena.
Right.
So.
Okay, next question.
Gazalith from Bravehearts. How do you like running with Malik faster than Darth Revan? Is it better than fast Bastilla?
Yeah, so it depends on the modding, but the most ideal scenario, in my personal opinion, is that Malik goes first, followed by Darth Revan, followed by Bastila. And the reason for that is if you have that turn. Now, this works primarily against Sith Trooper teams. If you're going against primarily Marauder teams, then you just need Darth Revan to go first, in my opinion. But this is a great counter to the Sith Trooper teams, because what happens is Malik goes first, he clears Sith Trooper's taunt, and then immediately Darth Revan does insanity on your leader. And that just, I mean, if you start out that way on the opposing team, you're effed, man. Like that's really hard to recover from, even with a really powerful team. And so that, in my opinion, is the most ideal scenario. But if you're going against a lot of Sith Troopers, then a lot of Marauder teams, then to me, what matters more is Bastila getting Corrupted Battle Meditation out there first before the opposing team.
Right. Good answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Have you tried Bosk and Jawas versus the Bugs?
No, because they're gonna nerf it. I've seen it, and I had somebody send it to me, and I would have made a video about it if I didn't. That particular night, I just could not do it. But yeah, somebody told me about it, and obviously the devs have already highlighted it, and it's not a working as intended interaction. So it doesn't need to get nerfed. It needs to get fixed, because it shouldn't work that way based on the kit language.
Okay, let's see. So, question. Since you're a big fan of Territory War, what do you think CJ can do to improve it? Rewards, management, stuff like that.
Most of what they can do to improve is management. Territory Wars, one of the best things they can do is not mess with it, because when they messed with it, it was not good, in my opinion. I was not a fan of that. I think it's some of the top meta competition of the game, and what really pits guild against guild. worlds in the most satisfying way. And it's a game mode that you prepare for months and months and months, and to have it change that fast without I didn't like the bonuses. I'm glad they got rid of them.
Yes.
So that's tip number one. Tip number two is your officers need so much more control over what's going on. They need to know so much more about what's happened. So 2 examples. Number one, an officer should be able to go in and remove a team during the setup phase and say, nope, that's not the right team. And then that person gets those characters back. That capability needs to be out there, because there's a lot of times where somebody might accidentally place, maybe
Right.
this happened to me. Oh,
there we go.
am
You're
I
back.
RoboCubs. Oh, we were doing so good. Let me know when I'm back. All right. So an example of that is, like, there was one time where I accidentally used the wrong loadout and I placed Talzin lead instead of Asajj lead. And I immediately got a message from my guild leader. He's like, dude, what the hell? And I was like, what? And he's like, you placed Talzin lead. I was like, no, crap. Because I was so pissed. And there was still like 18 hours until the attack phase started. So why the hell should I not be able to update that? I mean, once the attack phase starts, yeah, it's locked. You shouldn't be able to change that. No way. So that's one example. I think now, I don't think necessarily for Territory Wars anybody should just willy-nilly be able to edit anything. I think that you give the officers the capability of striking a team, saying, nope, that's the wrong team, send it back to the player and let them have a chance to replace the correct composition.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is the officers need to know who battled what.
Yes.
So
who the hell did the turn meter charge?
Who loaded the turn meter? Who failed against this team, and what composition did they use?
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody's going in to face the bugs with a undergeared Jawa team thinking they're going to be good, and we're telling everyone you only use Treya against this, then that's an issue that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
And then you'll know exactly what to tell them. Like, look, it's cool that you think your Jawas are going to work, but they don't. So don't ever do that again. And you know exactly who to talk to. And so those are the 2 main things from a management standpoint I think CG absolutely needs to work on.
I agree, especially in regards to like the turn meter charging, because we can't monitor it 24 hours a day to figure out who's actually doing the turn meter charging. To be able to teach them, it's either, are you not putting it, you're taking your Wi-Fi off, are you not putting it in airplane mode, or are you not forfeiting or foreclosing? Do you know how to do that, or are you just too shy to ask?
Right.
That kind of a thing. And it's like, if it's a consistent thing, then it's like, well, you know what? You should probably either sit out at DW, or we'll find a nice home where you can turn meter charge all you want.
100%.
Okay, next question.
Okay. Koteshi from Egypt says the question, since the GOTB dark side was and still is hard, do you think that the GOTB light side will be very hard like the dark side version, or a little tuned down or harder than the dark side?
No, it'll be at least as hard or probably harder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I agree.
Look at precedent. When we got light side territory battles for Hoth, it was difficult. Then dark side was even harder. Also, dark side was a total mess when it came out at first.
Oh yes, the good old days.
Yeah, they released it on a holiday weekend.
Oh God, that's right.
Yeah.
Remember that? It was like, man, what a great idea.
Yeah.
Total mess. I think it was Thanksgiving weekend, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question from Drew from One Step to Insanity. Is there actually an update about them losing their rights to the US or use the Star Wars franchise? I remember reading that a while back.
No, so that's all speculation, man. Like you got a lot of people online who want EA to lose the Star Wars license, and there's speculation articles about Disney might be pissed at EA and all that stuff. And I've never seen anything that actually gave any substance to that kind of thing. I think most of what you've seen about EA and the Star Wars license is just people speculating that things aren't going well, they're not putting out enough content, and the license should be taken away and that kind of thing. But I've never seen anything that made me think, oh shit, EA might actually lose their license. I have never seen anything that convinced me of that.
Let's see. T. Carter, 1194 from Django Unchained. He has several factions he kind of started and never really finished. Some are for getting Hero's Journey characters, others are just because they're good factions, such as First Order, Night Sisters, Bounty Hunters, Darth Revan, trying to get them, Geos, and let's see, I kind of want to be good at both GA and the Heroic Sith. Which do you recommend I work on first, or what order would you put that list?
Oh man. So I would say it depends. To me, Grand Arena is so much more fulfilling and so much more fun, so much more dynamic. The Sith Raid loses its savor very fast. And the rewards are very RNG based. But if you can get top 10 in the Heroic Sith, I mean, speaking ideally, if I'm going to be idealistic, being able to get top 10 in the Heroic Sith would enable you to farm a lot quicker for your Grand Arena. And so I think that's probably the ideal order, is get your Sith Raid in place, and then use the gear that you get from the Sith Raid for Grand Arena. The caveat I'd give to that is, if you're not gonna be able to get top 10 or quality of, like me personally, even if I could get top 10, which in my guild, good freaking luck, good luck. It's not happening. But like I can get over 20 million in the Sith Raid, and that doesn't even come close to top 10 in my guild. It's ridiculous. Which we could also launch into a discussion about how dumb it is that I can get 7 million in one guild and get top 10, and get 20 million in my guild and get 30th. But I won't go there. But if you're like me and you're looking, I can't even raid on a consistent basis to get 20 million damage, because by the time I get home from work and I've done my YouTube stuff, my wife and kids need me to be with them, not sitting down attacking Nihilus or Treya or Scion. That's not what they need me doing. And so I just, from a quality of life standpoint, cannot invest that much time in raiding. And so for me, it's not worth it to me personally to invest a ton in those teams, because even if I had the chops to bust out 30 million or 40 million or whatever and get top 10, I just don't have the time in my schedule to do it consistently. And so I just accept that it's not in the cards for me. I hit join, and so if I were to invest in those teams, more often than not, what's going to happen is, say I get 30th place, all right, those are going to get the same rewards that I'm going to get just by hitting join. And so just from a practical standpoint, it's not worth it to me to invest a ton in the raid. If it is for you, if you can invest in it, you can consistently get top 10. It's probably going to be worth it to do that on a consistent basis, and then use the gear that you get from that to bolster your Grand Arena prep.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Let's see. Next question's from McFly2411 from Carbonti Hunters. Beyond the typical Gear 13 tunes, General Grievous, Darth Revan and Malik, and crew, and Han and Daka, what are your plans for your own Gear 13 tunes? Spread them around into different squads, focus them more into just a few squads?
So I am trying to get away as long as possible with only having I Gear 13 to my Malik and my Bastila. I don't have Darth Revan Gear 13. And so far I haven't needed it. I've been doing fine every day, taking first. And so I'm actually spreading my Gear 13 throughout all of my Grand Arena defenses. And so I would look at what your defense, if you want to spread it out more, spread the love, I would look at what your defense is, and that's where I'd place my Gear 13 first. So
Gamorrean guard.
Look, you do you. I'm not endorsing that, but you do you.
Cup.
Hey, let's see. Has anyone? I guess Woot from Carbonti Hunters wants to know, will they do a level cap increase?
Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll go to 90 here before too long.
Let's see. Then we've got Howler, I'd assume, from
Mhm.
Bravehearts. When will they ever release Jedi Luke? And do you think it will be Jedi Knight or Jedi Master version?
Oh, I don't know. I if they do, it's going to be a while because right now, I mean, they've got the Clone Wars focus. Pretty soon, we're going to have focus on, we got the Clone Wars show, The Mandalorian in Episode 9. And so I think we're going to focus on that for a good while. And then after that, I mean, the indicator you'd be looking for on if they're going to bring Jedi Luke, Jedi Master Luke, Jedi Knight Luke, whatever you want to call it. The indicator I would look for, and if that's probably coming, is if they start releasing content from Episode 6. Because it won't be it won't just be, boom, there's Jedi Luke, here's what you need. We'll have stuff that they release pretty shortly beforehand, so that then we'll have an idea of where they're going. So I think we got a good while before that, personally, and definitely next year. Yeah, I mean that would definitely be the indicator,
Okay. Next question from Dayhack. One Step to Insanity. Do you have a particular farming process for mods?
Yeah, I slice and I slice and I slice. My strategy right now, because my roster is big enough, is I am a lot more concerned about slicing than I am about finding new mods. I'm concerned about making the existing good mods better. And so that's what I do a lot of. That said, I want to keep a good amount of credits in hand so that I can buy, the good mods as they show up in the mod store. And so I look for mods that fit the stats that I'm looking for, and I'll usually buy, 3-4 mods per week at least. So I'm still finding good mods, but I'm not farming the mods with the energy. I'm only farming slicing materials with the energy.
I'm also doing that, so yeah. I think for the most part, it's way too much RNG based when you're simming for mods, so it just makes sense to buy them.
100%.
Next we've got Fender Bender from Mustafar Fire Brigade. I have heard they might shift away from so many crystals in Arena and Fleet. Being free to play, this would make an uphill battle even worse. Do you think this would help or hurt the overall gameplay?
So I think it would help if they, allowed crystals to be attained in other ways. I don't think it would be good for them to move them away, though, and redistribute. Too many people rely on the arena payout, and it would be. No, I wouldn't cry if they moved it away from Fleet, but that's just bias. I know a lot of people would, but I don't care because I'm not doing Fleet. So yeah, move it. But no, I actually wouldn't advocate for that because I got too many of you guys are relying on that, and so yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question. I don't think it would be good for them to do that, and I think that they're going to be very careful. I mean, ultimately, Arena's kind of been the focal point of competition in this game for a long time. And while I think that that's kind of shifting towards Grand Arena, it's going to take a lot for anyone to be okay with just saying, all right, we're just going to be okay with less crystals in Squad Arena right now. I don't think that's going to happen personally. It's too established.
Jonah, you have another question?
Yeah. Cub, what's your favorite Star Wars era and why?
Ooh, favorite Star Wars era? Gosh. Yes. Is my answer. I don't know if I have a favorite. I like them all for different reasons. Like, the original trilogy is, brings it really hits on the nostalgia from my early childhood. The prequels trilogy gives me like high school nostalgia because that's the age I was when those were coming out, early high school. And the sequel trilogy, gives me PTSD of what it's like to like the sequel trilogy and have everyone hate you for it. So I like it all.
So if you would need to choose one, you wouldn't be able to.
If I had to choose one, I'm probably going. And this is including Old Republic, which I have a little less nostalgia for because I played the game, but I didn't. It never felt on the same level of Star Wars to me as like the movies did. But I'm probably going to choose the Clone Wars era.
Yeah, me too. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
You bet. All right.
Okay. Let's see. Educated fool. Not game related question. Which of the following are you most excited about? Episode 9, Clone Wars Season 7, The Mandalorian, or maybe another Star Wars related thing?
Well, honestly, channel wise, I'm a lot more excited for Jedi Fallen Order than anything because that will impact my channel potentially quite a bit, or it won't. Hopefully it does. I'm very nervous about episode 9 because as a lot of you guys know, I am a total episode 8 fan. I take a lot of crap for it, and I don't care because I'm going to stand up for what I think is right. And you can unsubscribe from me if you need to. I think that's a stupid reason to unsubscribe from somebody because they disagree with your opinion, but I get it every day. Anytime I mention that in a video, it always happens. But anyway, that said, establishing that I really liked episode 8 genuinely. It's not like a political stunt. I genuinely liked it, which I have to defend, even that I'm telling the truth sometimes because people just have a hard time accepting that somebody would actually like the film. With that established, I will admit all day that episode 8 was terrible for the fan base. We need a movie that comes out like Infinity War, where the whole fan base celebrates the movie for the most part. Maybe you got a few people, you got a few oddballs that don't like anything, but it's good for the fan base when a video comes out and everybody just goes, "Holy shit, that was dope. That was so cool. I loved it." If everybody, for the most part, is talking like that, you have a healthy fandom. When it comes out and you've literally got 50% of the fan base that liked The Last Jedi and 50% of the fan base that hated it, and they both hate each other because of it, it doesn't do anything good for us. And we saw the benefit, the effects of that with the Han Solo movie. There were some other factors at play for that, but that dramatically impacted the bottom line for Disney's Star Wars brand. And so that, to me, if episode 9 is another episode 8, then it's not just about like needing everybody to like it or I want people to agree with my opinion. It's like if episode 9 does poorly, then our franchise is in trouble, guys. Like we could have a dramatic turn in how much new Star Wars content we get if we have another failure like that in reception. The Last Jedi is not a failure, but the public received it as such, and that's what matters. And so I'm really nervous about episode 9. I don't even know, because I feel like it's so important that it's good and that everybody views it as good for the most part. Because if they don't view it that way, then I think that the fandom's in trouble. So I'm excited for Jedi Fallen Order. I'm nervous for episode 9.
Fair. It's fair.
Very nervous.
Let's see. Well, we've got a new one technically from Lord Grimm, so we'll go with that first. Do you think that Grand Arena Championship is gone forever?
Well, I did hit on this a bit earlier, and I'm petrified that that's the case.
And
I'm
do you feel that
petrified.
it's because of the cheating issue, that because it's been made so public that people are just really upset about it right now?
We had tournaments before.
Yes, I
And
remember
in
those.
the tournaments, we had several characters released like Jin, Baze, I think, Chirrut, Shore Trooper was the first one, if I recall. And, that game mode got deleted because of cheating. And so it's not off the table. And again, in my opinion, if that happens, it could be the end of the game. Unless they replace it with something good. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but does anybody like anything better than Grand Arena right now?
Yeah, every
Maybe
part of the
Territory
game
Wars?
except I can't stand Grand Arena.
Oh, okay. We got an exception to the rule.
Go one more Avi question. I guess we'll go with an Avi question because this one's funny. Will there be more Alliance or other World Cup tournaments in the future? Boba's participated in the last one, but alas, we sucked. And the main reason was because we had Nihilus and he was the main target for Revan and others from the get-go.
Yeah, so I want to do those again. Right now, there's a couple reasons discouraging me from doing it. Number one, the current test accounts we've got, we started putting Gear 13 characters on them, and I don't have the full rosters at Gear 13. And so there's a lot of characters on both sides that either couldn't be used, or I'd have to get everyone else up to Gear 13 so it's an even match. And the devs haven't given us the resources to do that. So tournaments are kind of tricky right now.
Right.
Another part about that is it's really hard. The amount I'm just going to be transparent with you guys. The amount of effort that goes into those tournaments, I question if it's sometimes worth it, because some people receive it very poorly because they don't like how it's framed, or they want this to change or that to change, and it can be a kind of an emotionally exhausting thing to go through. I'm just gonna be honest. I will probably still do it no matter what, because there's a lot of you who do love it, and I want you guys to have it. But for now, logistically, it's going to be tough, and I need to have at least like 6-month breaks between them before I do it again. So hopefully 6 months from now, we got the test counts in a place where we can do one again. And I'll figure out a way to do it and try to keep the least amount of people pissed about it.
Yeah, because I was kind of watching the whole thing, and I'm sorry you had to go through some of that from some of the guilds.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not
Yeah.
FIFA. You know, I
Yeah.
don't have a whole
Mhm.
committee of people coming up with rules for 100 years. You know, I'm just a guy trying to have a fun tournament. You know.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I
We
mean,
sucked.
we appreciated it.
We owned up to the suckiness that we had. You know, we had a good team. We just should not have put Nihilus on the team because he got targeted every time on that. So
That was a bummer. Yeah, I remember that. Now that's
Yeah.
cheap AI. Cheap AI. Stupid
yeah,
AI.
exactly. And you
I
know,
hate that.
otherwise we would have done a lot better. But yeah. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun that some of us in the Alliance really got together. We did voice chats. We came up with some fun logos. We just totally had fun doing it. So thank you very much for putting that on. And I'm kind of glad that we hopefully didn't suck for you in that sense by complaining a lot.
You guys absolutely sucked. I'm just kidding. No, you guys were fine. You guys were fine. It was the Hut Cartel that gave me issues, man. Like whoever was drafting for them, I'm like, dude.
Oh my God.
Pay attention, man. He kept drafting like characters that were already pulled, and then at the end he just like rage quit and drafted Clone Wars Chewie, and we're like, all right, well, I don't know why you guys are participating, but
right, yeah. We were on voice chat with each other doing it. We were laughing so hard with that. That was so hilarious.
It's terrible. I was like, what the hell is this?
But you know, we felt so bad for you, but we were just
It was a blast.
just in hysterics.
It was funny.
We were in hysterics. Yeah, and before I forget, one of the things about Boba's Alliance is that we currently have like 44 guilds on one server.
That's a lot of guilds.
That's a lot of guilds, and we are extremely interactive. As you see in chat, we've got quite a few people here, and we're glad you're here to do a little Q&A with us, and we're totally excited to have you. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I have this block of time every day, and I like talking to my patrons a lot. But every once in a while, I like to get out and just talk to the community if I can. And so a lot of times the main reason I don't do it as much as I wish I did is it just kind of takes a bit to organize and find out who wants to even do it. I don't want to assume that anybody wants to that doesn't. So I'm glad it worked out. I've enjoyed it.
Fantastic. Okay. Are you out of time? Do we have more questions, or how do we want to go about this now?
If there's any more, maybe I can do one or two more, and then I'll need to get going.
Let's see. I mean, Jonah has a question and Lord Grimm has another question. So, Jonah?
Cubs, you said you were excited about episode 9. Do you think that Snoke is really dead? Because he's one of the most powerful Force users that we've ever seen, and he gets killed so easily by his apprentice. Is there any chance that Snoke Force projected himself? Or, I mean, I can't believe he's dead that easily.
Well, couple things. Number one, no one's ever really gone, to quote the trailer. Number two, to go the opposite way, Sidious killed Plagueis in his sleep, right? That was pretty simple, and Plagueis was
That's like the rule
allegedly
of two.
extremely powerful. And so, to me, Snoke getting killed by Kylo is one of the most badass things that has ever happened in Star Wars. It is freaking badass that Kylo was able to do that, and I think it established. It did so. Like, people get very focused on Snoke. This trilogy is not about Snoke. This trilogy is about Kylo. This trilogy is about Kylo, and unfortunately, it's about Rey too. But Kylo is the one that I'm the most interested in personally. He's a Skywalker. The next film's called Rise of Skywalker. And so I know a lot of people say, if I don't find anything out about Snoke, I'm going to feel gypped. Or if he's really gone, you know what? I mean, if that's how you feel, fine. I don't understand. I personally don't feel like that whatsoever. In the original trilogy, I didn't care. Nobody cared about Palpatine. Nobody was crying that we didn't know anything about Palpatine because it was about Vader. Palpatine was just, he was there and he was important. And it was, Vader killed Palpatine. Kylo killed Snoke. But Snoke is not the one we need to know about. Kylo is the one we need to know about. That said, I think we'll find out more about Snoke in the next movie. I think that what's going on with Snoke is going to be pertinent to more history that we need to figure out with Kylo. So whatever we find out about Snoke, in my opinion, it's going to connect to developing Kylo Ren's character, which, in my opinion, Kylo Ren is one of the most interesting, if not the most interesting, Star Wars character we've ever had. It's just my opinion. I think he's fascinating. And Adam Driver kills that part.
Kylo is fun to watch for sure, and I'm very curious about Rey, her parents, especially that part in the movie where she looked at herself in that mirror and the dark side hole. I mean,
oh yeah. See, that's one thing that I loved about The Last Jedi, that a lot of people, you probably shouldn't let me go too long about this because I have so much to say. But I just love how much of the Force it got into. And, to me, I mean, some people criticize, oh, the Force can't do that. The Force can't do that. And I just think, why do you want the Force to be stagnant? Like, I want to learn more about the Force. I want to see more that the Force can do. And I thought that Force stuff, in that whole, the dark side area of the island was just brilliant. And the whole explanation of the tension and the light and the dark and the Jedi don't own the Force. Oh my gosh, I loved everything about the Force in that movie. And then, of course, you really get me going now. But Luke going out in one of the most badass Force moments I've ever seen. Force projecting himself to another planet, single-handedly saving the Resistance. I just think there's so much that we got with the Force in that movie that I thought was great. And that, to me, the Force is what makes Star Wars magical. In my opinion, it's not the Jedi necessarily. It's the Force. And this movie gave us a lot of good Force stuff.
Now?
What was that, White Walker?
Hasn't Plagueis' death changed now in the new book where Sidious got him drunk instead? And he was getting
maybe that's the case.
I'm
just going off of what he said in episode 3.
Yeah, in the new book and that, like, he got him drunk, and then he was too arrogant, Plagueis, that his power was too strong, that he didn't think Sidious could kill him.
And I think that's exactly what happened to Kylo and Snoke. Because Snoke, in that moment, he was so focused on Rey.
Arrogance.
And the arrogance is what got him. He was too arrogant. That's how it happened. So to me, Snoke's death in hindsight makes a lot of sense. And again, I'm telling you guys, I think it's one of the most badass moments in the entire canon.
Yep.
Yeah, it is for sure. Thank you very much for your answer. It was nice.
You bet. Does anybody doubt, by the way, that I'm being genuine about how much I love The Last Jedi after hearing that? Like when you get,
I
you get
don't
me
doubt it at
talking about this, you might disagree with what I'm saying, but don't doubt my passion.
No, I totally love that movie.
I liked
Yeah.
Han Solo,
Yeah.
and it got slated.
And you know what? Good characters that you love are gonna die. Yeah. And to me, if people get upset about characters that die that they don't think should have died, grow up. People die.
Yeah.
You don't want
They
everybody
haven't-
to have plot armor. You don't want this to be Game of Thrones where Dany is flying on a dragon to Euron Greyjoy and she can't get hit by a single damn arrow.
No spoilers.
Now,
Sorry.
I'll accept a lot, but not slating of Game of Thrones.
I'm not gonna accept a spoiler call. It's been out too long now.
Yeah.
If you're not ready for Game of Thrones spoilers, then it's on you now. But anyway, I don't think anybody should be immune. And so I love that they're killing people off because it's realistic.
Yes, I agree. Not everybody should be able to survive to the end. There's just
there's
no
no way.
way to actually do that. Cool. Thank
So,
you.
Do we
All
have
right.
one last question that isn't going to get me on a Last Jedi rant?
Let's see, we got two, but like, I don't know. The first one, I think, kind of with the pirates, you kind of answered is there a faction that is not currently in the game that you would like to see added? I think that kind of covered it with the pirates in a way.
Yeah, I want to see pirates, but I want to see Mandalorians too.
Okay.
Ooh.
We deserve it.
And then we have one last question then. Do you think they will introduce Grey Jedi with the next film?
Oh, I would love if they made that more canon. That would be great. It's definitely set up to do that, right? But that said, it would have to be a Grey Jedi, not just a Grey Force user, because Luke definitely foreshadowed that Rey is going to be a Jedi because she's, with that line, I will not be the last Jedi. So, yeah, Grey Jedi though, I would love it. But we'll see. I don't know anything. The only thing that I really feel with episode 9 is I just really desperately want it to be something that the fandom can come together on. For the most, again, there's always going to be outliers, but I just really, 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 really want it to be a film we can all, for the most part, agree on and celebrate together because we need it. And if Disney's going to continue investing in Star Wars, which I personally want Star Wars to be like the MCU is. Look at how many amazing Marvel films we have. I don't have a history with Marvel comic books, and I'm so invested in those movies. They're just so freaking good. And we deserve that for Star Wars. It's a better IP, in my opinion. It's a better IP than Marvel. And we deserve to have movies that land with the audience like the Marvel movies are landing with Star Wars. And so I really hope that the next episode does that, because if it does, I think it will definitely be a big indicator on how much Disney invests in Star Wars going forward. If it doesn't, then they're going to continue to pull back and have a conservative approach. And right now, you see them doing that. You see them pulling back. They're not pulling back completely. They're not throwing in the towel by any means. I don't think they'll ever do that. But they're going to be a lot more conservative with it. Right now with Marvel, they're not conservative. They're going ham, guys. They're just they announced 11 different titles at San Diego Gamescom or Comic-Con or something like that. I forgot exactly what the number was. They're just totally spamming us, and everyone's like, shower it upon me, just adorn me with freaking Marvel movies. Everybody wants it, and right now they're not doing that with Star Wars because of the fan response. And so we need to get the fans behind it, because for whatever reason the fans are not behind Disney and Star Wars like they are with Disney and Marvel.
Awesome.
Well, it was great having you here.
This was great, guys. I really appreciate it. Feel free to invite me back sometime if you want.
I'd love to. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and we definitely had more questions than I thought we would.
Oh, Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
once you start going, you think of stuff, and so it's good. I really enjoy. I thought the questions were fun, a good balance between just off the cuff stuff and Star Wars stuff and personal stuff in the game. So yeah, it's great. So all right, well, I hope you guys all have a good day. I have an arena climb to do.
All right. Thank you very much.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Good
And
night.
girls. Bye.